Hi, I'm Lexi, your mermaid in the Vermont mountains, and today is the last day of September, and I have so much reflection and so many thoughts that I want to share. And I've started this practice recently of using the last day of the month to reflect and kind of like do that spiritual, mental, even physical cleanup. And I feel like I've got some things to share that I'm excited to share about. And you may already, like, this may be nothing to you, but I hope this resonates with somebody. And please, I my goal is to open up a space to have these conscious conversations and to invite people in that are looking for conversations, want these conversations, are searching and seeking and feeling need for some conscious conversations, because a lot of the times I feel like if you are an awakening soul, you kind of feel isolated and you feel like you don't really have many people in your life to have these kind of deeper, meaningful conversations with. um, these different types of conversations, and I want to normalize this. I want to have um, an inviting, welcoming, safe space that I get to, you know, lift and share with the world. So, welcome. And I'm so excited if you are here, that you're here watching. Um, my video quality, it's not the greatest. I am in the beginning stages of learning how to have my own little YouTube channel and, whatever this is. I still don't even understand what to call it. I guess podcast, kind of, right? Um, but, anyways, why do we need to fit into a container? We don't. All we need to know is that this is some sacred space, and this is coming from a very special place and meaningful, and that you are invited here and you are welcome here, from wherever you are, in whatever stage of your life, whatever you're going through, you are welcome here. And today, I just am so excited because I've had some major aha moments. And I am so excited because I feel like when you are trying to create change in your life, or change your own bad habits, or make changes within yourself, whether it's losing weight, whether it's, being more, positive, changing your mindset, or, it's getting out of, for me, I am here because I am desperately seeking out of this negative mindset, adrenal fatigue inducing cycle that I've been in. And I came across something that I kind of jotted down, one of my ideas. And to me, this is kind of a vulnerable moment, but it's also something that, you know what? I have been dreaming of doing this and having these talks and just creating this space for so long now that I'm finally doing it. Yay, me. Okay, I have ADD. I have severe kind of procrastination, always late. I have struggles. I'm not going to lie. I'm far from perfect. I do not have the perfect body. I do not have all the answers. I do not know it all. I um, have flaws, I have weaknesses, I have strengths, and I am ready to finally embrace it all. I am a mom of four. I live in Vermont, rural area, so it's kind of hard. We don't have internet. That's been one of our ongoing challenges. There's challenges no matter where you live, or no matter what part of your life you are in, whether you have children or not. Life is hard. And I struggled with addiction for a little while, and I've been in recovery now for over 8 years, going on 9. And I am finally at the point where I'm stepping out of the closet, because honestly, it was my dirty secret. It has been my one of those skeletons in the closets that I always just try to keep there, and very scared that it was going to come out one day. And so living in that fear made me realize I need to open this fear. I need to face this fear face on. Why am I so afraid? Well, I'm so afraid of sharing this because of the stigmas, all the stigmas, right? And it's not just the stigmas around addiction and recovery. It's stigmas about parenting, success, all the things in life. I feel like we've gotten to a point where everybody is so opinionated, right? Everybody is so, and we're all allowed to have our opinions. That's fine. But I do believe like we've kind of gotten too angry, and that, there's a lot of judgment and a lot of shaming and a lot of just, negative mindset and negative, like treating others negatively. And I want to take active change. I want to make active, I don't even know how to word it. I want to work towards change, right? And you feel like you're one person, there's no way you can do it for the whole world. No, we can't, but we can embrace it, and we have the power to actually, make change within ourselves. And that's all we can do. We can't change anybody else. We can't heal anybody else, and truly we can't help anybody else if they don't want the help. So all we can do is just be the best version of us, share our experiences, and make those changes within. And for me, this process has had highs, lows. I've battled depression. I've battled anxiety, PTSD. There's so many battles that we're all faced with, that we all deserve to be kinder to each other, right? Because you truly don't know what the other person what's going on in their life, right? And, after years and years of living in fear and harboring so much anger, resentment, and feeling so much shame that I wasn't the person I wanted to be, that I went down certain paths, that I had certain struggles, that I made certain choices, fear, and that shame, and the fear of kind of failure, really was like consuming me. It was really, not for my highest good. It was one of those things where, excuse me, as I need to take a sip of water, is one of those things where, when I start learning about frequencies and, raising your vibration and what it truly means to, vibe high, and positive vibes only, I've realized, that connection, and wow, the real power in it. So I'm ready to share this stuff with you, and I'm ready to get vulnerable. I'm ready to share the nitty gritty and open this space up, and invite people in, to feel safe to get vulnerable too, because I really feel like that's where the change happens, when we do that reflection and where we go within and we, speak it, share it, acknowledge it. That's the start. That's the beginning catalyst for that change and growth. So there is no more word of failure in our house. Failure means nothing. Okay, there's no such thing as failure. It is an opportunity for growth and change. So just that mindset change, I'm continually working on it, okay? So I slip up at times, but it's that process of catching yourself and actively working towards your aligning with your most authentic self and the most, your higher self, right? So much good stuff to talk about. So upon my beginning of reflecting over the past month and even longer, I came across something that I wrote down. And I'm somebody who always has notebooks, pads of paper. There's jots, there's ideas, there's scribbles, there's diagrams, there's random thoughts and ideas and sentences and words and connections and little whatever. I am a little, it is how I work. I get an idea, I put it down. Sometimes I can't get it down, and that drives me crazy, because then I can't remember it when I have the time to get it down. I was like, oh, it was so good. But they come and go for a reason, right? Because you're not supposed to hang on to everything. And learning to let go of things and let things, has been just insane. So I'm really celebrating right now. I really feel in a celebratory mood, because I am celebrating the fact that I am reflecting back and I am seeing that, I am actually following through with things that I wanted to do, like positive mindset, talking to myself nicer, truly becoming that parent and human that feels most authentic and soul aligned. And I wrote this. It says, I am the link in the multi generational chain that is breaking free to start a healthier chain reaction. I am doing it not just for me, but for my children, my family, my friends, and my ancestors, and most importantly, for every single person out there that feels hopeless or like things will never change. I want to be that lighthouse of hope, support, growth, and encouragement. And I know, it's just a talking point. I even wrote it down as talking point. But I reread that, and it just kind of sent the tingles all over the body. I got that instant validation because I usually always date things. I don't always date them. But this was stuffed like from a while back, so I don't know exactly when I wrote it. But there's this part of me that for so long, one of the most recent things that I identified, right? And this part of me that for so long was a liar, okay? And that realization that I recently had, I went through this dark night of the soul, and I realized what a liar I was and I had been. And I'm not mad at myself because I didn't know better. I didn't know, right? It was like kind of in one of those coping mechanisms for so long. It was kind of like a combination of the ego, like trying to protect me and do the ego shit. And me not being connected to my higher self. And for me allowing certain external conditionings really contain me in a container. And so I, realized that I was living by this belief for so long that I was here to serve others. And, I do the work where when I identify a trigger, I just keep going, why, where did that come from? Why, and trying to do that, like that, digging deeper till I get to the root of the problem. And when you get to that root of the problem, there's so many times where I thought I got to the root of the problem, and guess what? Oh my God, it was like that the magician pulling the scarves out of a hat. It kind of feels like that sometimes, doing that trigger work, or the trigger work, pulling the trigger on doing the trigger work. I love it. So, that's what it feels like. It can feel like. It can feel like this daunting, never-ending task. Like, when am I going to ever get to the bottom of this? Like, is this really worth it? Like, oh man, should I just live in denial? No, it is so worth it. And so, it made me feel really ugly at first, right? Like, you have to realize, like, our emotions, they're here. They're kind of like little signals. And sometimes we take them on too long and we live in them. And that's not the best thing for us to do. And that's something I've had to learn over the years, that I used to sit with my emotions and allow them to take over instead of just identifying them and being like, okay, here's an emotion. It's energy in motion is what emotions are, right? It's energy in motion. So learning different ways to channel it and coping mechanisms. And that's one of the reasons I dreamed up this channel. I dreamed up this space to share these coping mechanisms that I was learning, because you learn things along your life, and then you learn things that will build upon it. And then you'll sometimes realize, oh, some of these things that I learned, I want to unlearn and relearn a different way. And that's how I felt with a lot of my thought processes, and how I felt with a lot of mindsets that I was living in and containing myself in. So this awakening journey for me, I originally thought had an end date. I was like, okay, so you go through an awakening and then it ends and then you step through. No, it's just living awake. It's realizing, it's waking up to the fact that this is a journey, that we are here in soul school on this soul journey, and that this is a forever evolving journey, that this is one of those things where there is no end date. It is like a new way of life, okay? And that's how I perceive it. And just it's such a big, in-depth thing that I feel like there's no way that we can like really just pinpoint things. And I am realizing that that's these human bodies that we're in, this like 3D world is where we want like clear, concise responses and answers. And like the awakening part is realizing how much more there is, right? And how like just the vast possibilities, and like this vast, it's just so, and it's beautiful. It can be scary, and it's been scary to me, and I lived in fear. And I believe that living in fear, and that anxiety and the fear of like embracing it and facing my fears, it was so unhealthy. But that's that low vibrational, like kind of trap. Like those low vibes are a trap. Low vibes are a trap. And I, fortunately, have been working with my amazing ascension guide, Mandy Elam from Sea Goddess Healing Arts, for over 3 years now, or going on over 3 years. And this goddess, hands down, what she does is like nothing else out there. Now, I have always preached about therapy being a good thing and us needing to destigmatize therapy and in mental health. That's number one. We need to destigmatize mental health and therapeutic, and just therapies in general, right? Alternative healings and just everything. We just need to destigmatize everything that we've stigmatized. We need to just get rid of that, because it does nobody any good. Nobody. It's like one of those things where it's like with word failure, we're going to take the word failure and we're going to take, stigmatizing things. We're going to take that and we're going to throw it out, and we're going to create our heaven on earth where we know better. We know better, right? Where that's something we like just live by, kind of like a, one of those things. So anyways, these realizations, and I'm realizing that for so long I would get stuck in those emotional feelings that were brought up as I was realizing things and recognizing things, and my immediate reaction was to get defensive. I would get defensive with my own self, right? I'm having these actualizations on my own, realizing these things, and then I'd get defensive with myself and get myself worked up in a tizzy, and then that tizzy was like a domino reaction to how I reacted to everything else and responded to everything else. Whew, it's a lot of exhausting energy living in that life, that living that way, practicing that or allowing that in. And now that I am realizing the sovereignty that we truly have here on earth, right? The sovereignty that we all have over our own bodies and our own lives and minds and everything, blows my mind. Thank you to Lori Ladd and her videos that have just been super inspiring. She talks so much and always is so like wanting to reassure everybody of our sovereignty and keep that on the forefront, because it's a gift, right? It truly is a gift for this experience, I believe. And so I feel like we're never really taught about that. We're not really taught about these things. And since realizing that, my amazing Ascension Guide Mandy and I started a little show on their Sea Goddess Healing Arts channel page thing, called Unschooled. And this is such a huge process, right? And it's like I'm always searching for support, content, and feeling the need sometimes to just want to hear other people's experiences. I thrive off of peer review and peer support. And it's funny because that's how I've always been in life. And then when I started getting into the birth chart, it says that in so many of my horoscopes and birth chart and science and stuff that, that's, and I'm like, that's so me to a T. That's why I'm realizing, seeing these, learning that there's no such thing as coincidence. So all these coincidences that I've seen over the years, all of these amazing, like, ooh, is that a sign that they are signs, has really been that changing, one of those changing mindsets and like realizations and things to embrace that has really helped me And as I reflect back, I see how much it's helped me. And there's times when you're living in your life and you don't really notice how big changes have been or are until you reflect back, right? We get so caught up in our day-to-day stressors in life that we forget to look at these little things, and we forget to be grateful for so many little things. And so as I reflect back, I realize that I have been really, over the last month, there were some goals that I had set for myself that I've been trying to practice that became a lot easier this past month, and they became less of a battle and more natural. And I'm excited because that tells me that with practice, that it gets easier with practice. It gets easier the more we do it, and the more we embrace things, the easier it gets. And so since embracing listening to my intuition, first it took realizing I had an intuition. Then it took realizing that my intuition was actually, I could actually listen to it, that my intuition was what I should be listening to, and that the ego was the one I should be a little careful with, right? And so it was massive, and it's taken me a while to practice this whole connecting to my intuition and listening to it more. Then there was this major realization, I will call it, aha moment, where I realized realized with everything even more, another layer of realization, because it's like a onion, life is, right? Another layer that was peeled back was realizing how much I looked for external validation, right? I never knew to trust my intuition. Actually, I used to do the opposite. So my intuition would tell me, "Oh, you girl, you got to do this." My ego would come and say, "There's no way you can do this. Do not listen to that. That had me convinced that my intuition was there to self-sabotage me, and my ego was there to lead me in the right direction, when really it was like kind of a little ass backwards. I didn't believe in myself. I didn't believe that I could make the right decision, or that I could make a decision for myself, or that I could trust myself. And that's horrible. It's horrible that I didn't trust myself. We should trust ourselves. We need to honor ourselves. We got to be nicer to ourselves. We got to stop being so detrimental to our own well-being. I'll never forget years and years and years ago seeing my mom read the book Joyce Meyer's Battlefield for the Mind. It immediately got my attention. Battlefield of the Mind. I was like, oh my God, this is me. I'm not alone. I'm not crazy. You know what I mean? Because sometimes you withhold things so you think people are going to think you're crazy. And you're like, I don't want to, nope. I don't want to get labeled any more weirder than I already am. Now I'm like, I am the weirdest. I'm queen of the weirds, okay? I'm queen of the something different. I need a tissue. Sorry. So, it was, this journey has just been, it's so amazing. It's so amazing. I hope you're enjoying your journey as much as I'm enjoying mine. Because we should really be enjoying these journeys. And, realizing that I was just always in survival mode and not in thriving mode. And that there was things I was doing that were ultimately holding me back. And that I was truly living a life trying to serve everybody else but me. And then wondering why I wasn't happy or why I was struggling with things. That was like, boom. You know what I mean? It was like one of those things like, oh, I gotta start living this life for me. I gotta make me happy. If I can't make myself happy, then nobody's going to be able to make me happy. And I'm not going to be able to make anybody else happy. And I'm striving to try and please others. And it's like, this being stuck between a rock and a hard place. And learning that, I was taught, okay, if your cup is empty, you go, you just keep pouring. You pour from a pitcher somewhere. You know what I mean? Like, that you just kept giving and giving and giving, that was the worst example. But it was like, work until you die. You work, you just keep going, you fake it until you make it. I hate that. The fake it until you make it. That was something I was living by, and I'm realizing more and more just how much I don't like that. Because I don't think you should fake anything. I think we should be authentic. I do. And I don't think we should fake things anymore. I don't. I'm done with that. That's another thing going in the trash with failure and all those and stigmatizing fake it till you make it. We're putting all this shit in the trash. We're cleaning out. And that's what this last day of the month is for. Clean out, right? We're going to clean out our vocabulary, our mindset, our souls, our bodies, our lives. Because when we clean out the junk that's there, that's taken up space, that's taken up our time that we don't truly need or want, or isn't truly there for our highest good, it needs to go. We need to simplify and cleanse and let it go. So this day should be for, I feel like, reflection. What have we missed? What have we not cleared out yet, right? What do we need to clear out? What have we realized this month? Or what have we, what are we missing? What do we wish we did? Let's do it now so we can start the next month where we truly want to be. And so I'm honing out this step. I'm cleaning it out. I'm cleaning out the fact that I thought I wasn't going to be able to do this because of my kids. Because I was stressed and because I'm not doing the best at getting my days in on my 44-day challenge that I'm doing. In the past, I would either lie that I was say, oh yeah, I'm hitting my goals, right? Thinking that's what people wanted to hear. Or I would set my goals so low so there was no way for me to miss them, which is not challenging myself and not good for me. Or I would be so mad at myself and disgusted, I would give up and say, well, obviously I can't do this. I don't know why I wasted my time. No. You know why I'm doing this challenge, and I am not upset that I haven't gotten more than 2 consecutive days and I've had to keep restarting my 44-day reset? Because the self-awareness that I am growing and that this challenge is creating for me, I am looking at it as it's not failure, that it's growth, right? Okay, I need to work on this and this in order to be successful. So it just keeps bringing me things that I need to conquer. And man, it feels so good. It feels so empowering. And man, yes, we can do it. Oh my gosh. Guys, I for so long would look at happy people, successful people, and have that spite and that resentment and that like a little bit of jealousy, anger, like why? What am I doing wrong? What am I doing wrong, right? Why is that not me? Like, oh, I must be cursed. Like every excuse in the book. No. Because let's see here. Why? And then identifying the whys. Well, I have a negative mindset. I'm actually really not taking any action towards that goal or towards making that happen. And here's the thing with taking action. Baby steps. This was my Aunt Karen's go-to. Baby steps. Baby steps. And it reminds me to slow down. Okay. Baby steps. That's all you got to do, right? We get so overwhelmed because all we think about is the end product. Oh my God, so much going to have to. Slow down. What is the first baby step that you can take in that direction for taking action to making that dream come true or that goal come true? That's all you got to do. You got to dream it up. You got to believe it, right? You got to believe that dream, believe that goal, believe that you can do it, believe in it, believe that that is possible to create, that it's possible. Feel it. And then take action with some baby steps. And it's just a series of baby steps. And it's also learning that if you take a step back, because I was always like, oh gosh, for every 3 steps forward, I feel like I have 5 steps back. Well, instead of having that negative mindset that is a bad thing, that those step backs are a bad thing, it's changing your mindset. And I've changed it so instead of step backs being a bad thing, they're a good thing, because taking a step back means, okay, I gotta step back for a moment, look this, right? I gotta take a look at from some different angles. It gives you that moment for reflection to also kind of take that action in making changes. So step back are a good thing because they're actually taking action. They're a chance for you to take action. There's a chance for you to make changes in your life. And the one consistent thing in this life is change. The only consistent thing is that there is forever going to be change happening on earth. Now, with that, is the fact that the change within us can feel like it's impossible to make. It can feel absolutely impossible to make that change. And then you're trying. My thing was I kept trying, and I was like, oh man, it's not what I want. Why? Oh, why? Suck, Flexi, you suck. No, it is. Gotta celebrate those little wins. It doesn't matter how little it is. Like, it doesn't matter if the win is so little that you're celebrating the fact that you took one less bite than you normally would have your pint of Ben and Jerry's. Or that, oh, okay, so today I might have lost my temper, but there was, I did that one time not lose it. It's the little things. The little things add up. And it's all what we are telling ourselves. What narrative are you telling yourself? And that is like just so freaking powerful, I feel like. I looked back and I realized that in the past, the narrative I told myself when I reflect upon the past was I was only picking out the failures, where I went wrong, what I didn't do. So now instead it's, okay, what did I not get to this month? And then, you put it on for the next month. Okay, so something didn't work out that I wanted to work out. There's a reason behind it. I trust, I don't need to know why. I trust that it didn't happen for a reason. Give it up. Let it go. That's it. Let it go. I carried so much on with me. Like, I was letting things bother me still from like literally 14 years ago. I was holding on to anger and resentment from 20 years ago. And this, like, that shadow work and that like digging through the triggers, that pulling the trigger on the trigger work has really helped me cut those attachments, those awful like weights that I was carrying around with me. I think of it like, how like in the night, what is it, the Christmas, whatever it is, where Ebenezer, the ghost, comes with all the chains and he's haunting and he's carrying all. I truly believe that ghost and those chains are all the things we carry on to that we have not let go of and not healed from and not recognized, right? And it's one of those things where the proof is in the pudding, right? You do that work, you celebrate that little, you feel that energy, you feel that shift. So when I was talking about those emotions, that energy and emotion, those negative ones that I would get caught up in and just simmer in for too long, I knew that I had to make an active change in the way I handled those when I was seeing my kids do the same thing. Okay, I see other people do it too. But for me, it was seeing my children pick up that trait of mine, that behavior of mine, and seeing them linger in these lower vibrations and allow it to just fester in it for too long. That was like, oh, that reflection for me of kind of seeing it from the outside hit so deeply that I had to, it was like one of those moments where I'm like, I'm done with my shit. I'm done. I'm done with my shitty excuses, with my shitty attitude, with my shitty mentality, with my shitty, and it's hard. It's not like I'm perfect now. No, it's a process. Okay. And that's what I tell my kids. It's just, it's a process. I'm celebrating the fact that when it begins, that it's taking me less and less time to pull myself out of it and catch myself instead of feeling so bad that happened or that I lost it so many times. So, ramblings with Lexi. That's what I should call this. So, one of the things too that I wanted to talk about upon my reflecting today that I realized and was like, oh man, I am so excited. I can't believe this. It was this like kind of that we are all doing the best we can, right? We know that. We all know that everybody is doing the best they can with what they have and what they know in that moment. So realizing that my work of only searching or working to the point where I, instead of searching for outer validation, went for inner validation. And some people, to them, it's looked like I have cut everybody off or cut them off, and I'm a hermit. I go into hermit mode sometimes. And I go into hermit mode because I have to protect my own energy. Because when I'm going through something, I have to give myself the respect that I need during that time of doing what I need to do for myself to make it through that moment or that time. So sometimes it means having less contact with people or not putting myself in certain situations or saying no to things. No to phone calls, no to messages, putting the phone down, not communicating with many people, focusing on making my priorities, slowing it down and making my priorities my taking care of my kids and then taking care of myself. And really, it's taking care of myself and then my kids. And learning that I had to find a balance in that, like getting up early enough, going to bed early enough so I could get up early enough to be able to get that time in and have my morning ritual that benefits me, that really truly sets me up for a good day, that really truly hits the needs that I need for myself to feel my best or to, you know, to find that balance ultimately, to create that balance. And so since making these changes, and I, for a while I had to practice not like going to others for things. Like I would have to like call somebody to just confirm that I should cook this chicken, that the chicken was okay, instead of trusting that I know how to figure out if this chicken's good enough to cook. Do you know what I mean? So like for me, that's the little processes that I've been working on in order to start operating from this internal validation. And this is gonna sound so rude, but no, you fucking deserve to take care of your energy. Okay, so I don't know if you didn't know that yet, or maybe you do know that and I sound super rude. I'm sorry. I don't mean to be coming across sounding rude. I mean to be coming across as validation and a really, really, really like important reminder and permission to protect your own energy. Okay? You. Like I needed to hear this, okay? So I want to share this. I want to share with the world what I needed to hear, just in case anybody else needs to hear this too. But you are worthy. You are deserving. You deserve to live your best life and to operate every day for your higher self and your highest good. You deserve to protect your energy and you deserve to live a life that you love and that you dreamed up and created. You deserve to have your sovereignty over your own mind, body, and soul. So, girl, boy, soul, okay? So, beautiful soul, you deserve this. So start treating your energy the way you would treat your most, like your prized possession or your child. You know what I mean? Like, you don't treat your energy with the utmost respect and importance. Treat it the way you want to see your kids treat their energy, right? Or themselves. Like, you deserve this. We deserve this. We don't owe anybody an explanation either. Okay? We gotta stop that shit too, because that was the next thing. I always was like, felt like I had to then validate and like explain why. No, done, don't wasting my time. Done. Okay, I respect you. Well, actually, okay, I give people too now that same respect, and I realized I had a moment, and this is what I'm celebrating. I had a moment where I realized ooh, I don't always practice what I preach, right? I always preach respect your energy, right? You don't know what somebody else is going through, and to not judge somebody because of their mood that day or whatever. Not take things so personally and have to, the tone, the whatever, and realize there might be something going on that we don't know about. And most likely there is. Most likely there is something that you don't know about is going on with this person that's truly the root or the center, the cause of their anger, their issue, right? And to remind myself that, ooh, it feels so good because then it's like, doesn't bother you. You're not picking up that energy either. You got this clear like line, this clear divider of, respect, okay, and understanding and this balance. And I love it. I love it. It feels so good because I would in the past like then stew on it and be like, oh no, what did I do? What did I do something? Oh man, did I make this person mad? Are they upset? Why? And like I would care about it too much. And then I would give it too much of my mental capacity and my mental space. And I got to remember, okay, I'm going to give them what I want. And that's the respect of the matter of that, you know what? We all have moments. We all have bad days. And there's times where I've come off in a really bad tone to people because they caught me at a time and you're not even truly aware of it. Like you kind of are, but you're not. You got like this chip on your shoulder because you're angry about something. Something's bothering you. Something don't work out. And it happens, right? Sometimes people catch us at the wrong moment. Sometimes things come out wrong. Sometimes it's just like the beauty of not like hyper focusing in on just every little detail, right? And everybody's little thing. So man, I'm just so excited and proud because that it's really paying off. Feels really good. It's just that like to reflect today, where usually the last day of the month I would have anxiety because I'd realize all the things that weren't done or all the things that still needed to be done, or I would just see the bad parts of that month. Now I'm picking out the good and looking at the challenging parts in a different light. And it's giving it less power to ruin my mood, to ruin my day, and less power over taking up my time in this space that I could be giving and enjoying and creating positive things. Also, I struggled with a really long time that I never felt like I fit in with like certain things, right? And people and groups. And it's weird. I feel weird. I feel like I'm an alien from another planet thing. Well, we are, right? Okay. We're all probably feel that way one way or another. But that's good. It's actually really good. It's good. That's a good thing. Yay. Yay being different. Yay having our own unique dreams, wants, needs, and being our own unique selves. That's what makes this such an awesome experience. And so the more authentically I start to align and trust in myself and everything, and I see that, oh, okay, it's okay to be weird and different. Like, that's a good thing. That's a good thing. Okay. And honor it. Just honor it. I really hope this resonates with somebody. And I hope somebody walks away from listening to this and is like, yeah, I am fucking awesome. I am special. What some people would either pick on you or you would find your faults if you could, or weaknesses or things, you know what I mean? Like, okay, for me, I always thought that or had to get this AD&D category name, right? I had to get that to help for me explain the fact that I like different experiences, okay? Because I was in the mindset, in the conditioning that you needed to stay in one career path to be successful, okay? That's actually not what I determine success. I mean, that's one person that can be successful. But I truly believe everybody should have their own definition of success and be going after their own successes instead of us trying to convince people that this is what success is. So if we could redefine that word success and the meaning and how we like kind of treat it, I would be so excited. Like, because what is good for one person isn't necessarily good for another. And like, that's the way it works. There's nothing wrong with it. So I was for so long allowing myself to feel judged by others and family members and people, because I felt like they, they'd be like, they wouldn't understand the fact that, okay, I got this great experience. Now I'm on to my next experience. They would call, oh, you're so unreliable, or you could be further along if you would have just stuck it out at that one job that was so great. It was such a great job. Yeah, it was a great job. I took away a lot from it. I learned a lot. But it was also part of the building blocks to get me to where I'm going. And it was because that was perfect for me in that time. There was lessons to be learned, but it's okay to not be on the same journey and path as others, and it's okay to want change, that it's okay to want experiences. And I was just really allowing other people to put their ideas like onto, taking them on way too much, instead of being just, yeah, that's um, instead of just trusting myself. And that I'm stumbling over my words here, because this is very like here at the top still, you know what I mean? So as I address this topic for me, a lot more gets triggered and arises that comes up with it, right? Here's that scarf, right? I'm on this scarf pull of meaning of success and job and career, and it's just like got multiple, where like it's all coming up. And it's okay. Come up. Come up so I can release you, right? Come up so I can release myself from carrying these thoughts and these feelings and these triggers. Let me release this for a change. And I'm so excited that I'm doing it. I'm doing it. Woohoo! I want to celebrate. So I would love to know, what are you celebrating? Has anything resonated with you? And what are you celebrating? Let's celebrate our little wins, our little victories. Let's do it. Let's do it. Okay? Because honestly, it's freaking amazing. It's the proof in the pudding that we can change, and that it's worth it, and that anything we put our mind to, we can actually do. We can achieve. And that we can all be nicer to each other, right? I think we can all be nicer to each other, not just each other, but ourselves. We all need to be nicer to ourselves. And that's where it starts, right? We can't be nicer to each other until we're nicer to ourselves. And you don't want to be that person that, the person that I was. I'm just going to flat out say it and be honest. The person that I was, that was so nice to everybody else, but just so mean to myself. And I really, really was too. Like, I'm not gonna lie, not gonna sugarcoat this, and I'm so gonna just be honest. Honesty is the best policy here. I would pretty much kill myself to make somebody else happy, and that's not a good way to live. And I'm saying it now, that's not a good way to live. Okay? And I don't support that way of life anymore. And I refuse to go back to it. And some people may be mad at me for changing, and I'm sorry that my growth triggers you, right? And I don't say it to their face like that, but that's what I'm saying to myself. I'm sorry my growth triggers you. May I pray for you? Love and light. Let's do this shit, right? Because the reality of it is, nothing is perfect. It never will be. And we got to just embrace it. We got to embrace the chaos. And I was struggling hard because I have 4 kids. And I always said, listen to this crazy shit. I was complaining about the chaos in my house. But guess what? I manifested the chaos. I manifested this. You know why? Because I used to say, I want a house full of kids and animals and love. And I want that big, crazy household. Because I grew up an only child, with my brother living with his mom, my half-brother living with his mom. I didn't have any siblings in the house. I would go every summer to my cousins and see all their fun houses filled with just, laughter. And I loved I loved it. I loved going there. I pined after having a sibling, so of course I had a bunch of kids. And I would love more. I would adopt more. I got dreams. I have a dream. I got many dreams. Many dreams. And so I was like, why am I having such a hard time with this? And I had to then pull the trigger on that trigger and do the work and dig through it. And I excavated through that trigger, and come to find out, I had manifested the chaos, and I struggled with the chaos because I was being in the belief and in the mindset that you had to have a perfect home, and everything had to be in perfect order to be a successful homemaker. Okay, and that was my job. My job is to make sure the house is in perfect order and everything's perfect. What the fuck? What the fuck? There's no such thing as perfect. Why am I holding myself to an impossible standard? I don't want my kids holding themselves to impossible standards. So I had to break through that, and I'm still breaking through that battery because it's still really hard. But I keep having to tell myself, those dishes in the sink, the kids are not going to remember. They may remember that mommy struggled with keeping up with the dishes, but they'll remember the fact that mommy was doing a project with them. They're going to remember the projects we did, the games we played, the talks we had, the moments we had of bonding and laughter, and that's all that matters, right? So that's what I have to tell myself. And you know what? Just because that's what I tell myself doesn't mean that's what you have to tell you. Follow your heart. Do what feels right for you. Do what lights you up. And like, that's why, so my Sea Goddess Mandy, my Ascension Guide, their Sea Goddess Healing Arts, their mission is just, it's so on point. And that's why I feel so strongly about the Sea Goddesses and Sea Goddess Healing Art, because we all have a light inside of us. It's just whether or not it's buried with a bunch of trauma and a bunch of hate and a bunch of things that we just got to excavate through to find that light inside of ourselves and shine it bright, shine it for others, and shed light to the darkness and to the topics that those fears, because when your light is shining through, your fears and that darkness, that unknown, is so much easier. Because you just got to step through into it and shine your light there too. So, it gives me such great feels. I don't want to go on too long. I've gone on over what I was hoping for. So thank you if you have stuck the whole way through listening to this. Thank you so much. I would love to hear what you think. I would absolutely love what are you celebrating? I would love to know, what are some little victories? What's resonated with you? And where you're from? And just introduce yourself. And I am so thankful that you're watching. Thank you for holding space with me. Thank you for listening to me. Thank you. And I hope you enjoyed, and we'll come back for more. But I'm going to leave it on this note of a challenge to reflect upon your month or the past couple months. Reflect upon this last day of the month, and what are you going to celebrate? What can you acknowledge from this month of September that you're proud of? What is it that you want to celebrate? What little victories are you celebrating right now, and what resonates with you? Thank you so much for just being here. And remember, you are worthy. You are amazing. You deserve everything you want in your life. And that we have sovereignty over our own bodies. Sovereignty. I always feel like my nasally messes up words. That's a whole nother thing. Just wait. I'm going to share my journey of learning to heal myself. And I'm so excited to do it. So I'm going to actually do a update and have that, hopefully post that also today, where a little update of my 44-day fall reset challenge with through Infinite Yoga and Wellness with Danny Marshburn. This has been the best thing I've ever done. And I cannot wait to share that and talk about that too. So thank you so much. Thank you. Have a blessed day.